Kabul, Afghanistan. In the dark of night, desperate Afghans clawed through rubble with their bare hands, their cries echoing across the devastated landscape, as hope of finding loved ones alive faded with every passing hour. A powerful earthquake struck eastern Afghanistan, killing around 800 people and injuring more than 2,500 according to the figures released by the Taliban government on Monday. Entire villages were left flattened, mud brick homes reduced to dust, and families torn apart in one of the deadliest disasters to hit the region in recent years. Survivors described scenes of horror, with children trapped under collapsed roofs and mothers screaming in despair as rescuers, with limited resources, worked tirelessly to pull people from the wreckage. Without heavy machinery, most rescue efforts relied on shovels, pickaxes, and bare hands, making the task painfully slow as precious time slipped away. Hospitals across the affected provinces were overwhelmed with the influx of the wounded. Doctors and nurses struggled to cope with the sheer number of casualties, many working without adequate medical supplies. Makeshift clinics were set up in open fields where patients lay on mats under the scorching sun, some crying in pain, others silent in shock. International aid organizations and neighboring countries expressed condolences and pledged support, but damaged roads and communication networks hampered relief efforts, leaving many remote villages cut off from immediate help. Eyewitnesses said aftershocks added to the fear, sending residents running into the open fields, unwilling to return to damaged houses that could collapse at any moment. Local elders recalled how the tremors lasted only a few seconds, yet the destruction they caused was vast and unforgiving. Hundreds of families have been displaced, their belongings buried beneath rubble, forcing them to spend nights under the open sky with little food, water, or shelter. Survivors lit small fires in the cold night, gathering together in grief and uncertainty, unsure of what tomorrow would bring. The Taliban government has appealed for urgent international aid, acknowledging that the scale of the disaster is beyond their capacity to handle alone. They urged humanitarian organizations to provide tents, medical supplies, food, and rescue equipment as thousands remain vulnerable. Afghanistan, already grappling with economic hardships and years of conflict, now faces another devastating blow that threatens to deepen the suffering of its people. Experts say the mountainous terrain and poor infrastructure make such regions highly vulnerable to earthquakes, and with most houses built from clay and wood, they stand little chance of withstanding strong tremors. This tragedy has once again exposed the fragility of life in rural Afghanistan, where even natural disasters strike with disproportionate cruelty. Families now mourn not just the loss of their homes but of entire generations, as multiple members perished in the same collapsed households. In many villages, mass funerals were held, with rows of freshly dug graves marking the scale of the catastrophe. The grief was palpable, the silence broken only by sobs and prayers as survivors buried their loved ones with trembling hands. Children wandered aimlessly, many orphaned in a matter of moments, while elders lamented the loss of their community's future. The United Nations has called for immediate support, warning of a looming humanitarian crisis if aid is delayed. Relief teams are expected to bring food, blankets, and medical kits, but reaching remote districts remains a major challenge. Meanwhile, volunteers from neighboring provinces have begun arriving, bringing whatever help they can in the form of bread, water, and basic supplies. In the face of unimaginable loss, stories of resilience and solidarity have also emerged. Neighbors rushed into the ruins to save each other, strangers shared their last pieces of bread with displaced families, and communities came together to provide comfort in the darkest of times. Even so, the path to recovery is long and uncertain. Rebuilding homes, restoring livelihoods, and healing the physical and emotional wounds will take years. For now, the people of Afghanistan are left with grief etched on their faces, standing amidst ruins where once stood the warmth of family and the comfort of home. This earthquake has not only shaken the ground beneath their feet but also the very foundations of their fragile existence. As international aid slowly begins to trickle in, survivors cling to hope that the world will not abandon them in their hour of need. The resilience of Afghans is well known, but resilience alone cannot rebuild homes or bring back the dead. The tragedy in eastern Afghanistan serves as a grim reminder of the vulnerability of human life and the urgent need for global solidarity in times of crisis. And as dawn breaks over the devastated villages, casting light on the destruction, one truth remains: The people who survived will carry the scars of this disaster forever, but their plea to the world is simple: help us rise again.